What is up, everybody? Your boy SECFT here, back with another stream today. The AP poll is out, and the Gamecocks are in it. I did not think I'd be coming live, honestly, on a Monday. I didn't think I'd be doing a live today, but honestly,
What
I
is up,
just.
everybody? Your boy.
Alright, good. Everything sounds good. Sorry about that. But honestly, I really want to just talk from a pure Gamecock fan. I just want to let my heart out as a pure Gamecock fan and my thoughts on this because this is the first time South Carolina has been ranked in the preseason since 2014, and that is actually a pretty big deal. That's a big deal for this football team. It's a big deal for this football program, and I'm super giddy about it, man. Super giddy about it. So when we look here, this is the AP poll right here, and our boys, South Carolina, coming in at number 13. Man, let me just ramble a little bit on this. I remember a point in South Carolina football where 5 years ago in November, this football program just felt dead. It felt absolutely dead. We were coming off of a 48-3 home loss at night against Texas and we had just so much disarray within the program, so much problems. And to now sit here and see South Carolina at number 13 in the preseason poll, look, again, you can think that they're ranked a little too high. You can think that they're ranked a little too low. It is what it is, but the fact that this program, the difference in South Carolina football in the last 5 years, it's just been a very beautiful thing to see. Beamer's done a great job in changing the culture here, recruiting well to get the players in the building to be able to have seasons like this. And again, this number 13, I know what some people think, maybe it's not that big of a deal to you, but again, this is the first time South Carolina has been ranked in the preseason since 2014. I can't remember the last time, honestly, that this fan base felt so hype and excited coming into a season like this. It hasn't been like this in a long time. The hype and the excitement and everything. And this team very much has a chance to do something special. They do. And especially if South Carolina can come out week one and avoid a slip up against Virginia Tech, because that is a game you should win. I'm not saying Tech won't be tough, but I am saying that's a game Carolina should win. If you could start the season strong, you could find yourself in the top 10 going into Baton Rouge, or a top 10 going into Como, or anything like that. It just, again, it's a big deal for the program. And it really shows that there are good times for South Carolina football right now. And I know for some people, South Carolina being ranked this high kind of feels scary. I get it. Gamecock PTSD is real, trust me. But I feel like really the biggest point I could really ramble on is just that this is such a big thing for South Carolina right now. Just to be ranked in the preseason in general, because it's the first time since 2014. It shows the growth of this program over the last 5 years. Where, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, 5 years ago, at least in November, it really felt like this program was dead. And now, you got playoff hype and expectations. You're ranked in the preseason. You got a quarterback everyone rallies behind. You got a team everyone rallies behind. A certain level of excitement that just hasn't been there in a long time. Whether you like it or not, South Carolina's on a stage they haven't been on in a while. There is legitimate hype around this football program. Some people think that this team could turn into a winner. And I think that just speaks to what Shane Beamer has built here and what he's continuing to build. Because the future classes like 26 and 27, it's filled with promise. It's filled with promise. It's filled with talent. And if Carolina can just continue recruiting the way that they do, I'm telling you, man, some very exciting times to be a South Carolina Gamecock. But I'm just rambling from a South Carolina fan. After everything we've been through, it's really nice to see this. It really is. It's nice to see this. Because it's been tough. It's been tough. And it's just nice to see South Carolina in a position like this. Because we haven't really been in a position like this in a long time. We just haven't. And again, even if you think South Carolina this year is not going to be very good, even if you think this ranking's a little too high, I understand it, but it's just the level of excitement, the hype around the program, the hype around the team. It's at a certain level it just hasn't been in a while, and it's just nice to see. But yeah, guys, I can't stream for too long because I have pizza on the way. I ordered a nice pizza place from Columbia. Very excited to try it. I never had it before, and I'm hoping this will be a good first experience. But when we look at the AP poll more as well, Texas is number one. Look. Texas, I think, is a good team. I don't know if I'd put them number one per se. I think I'd put either Penn State or Ohio State at number one, to be honest. Clemson in the top five. You know, this is not a shit on Clemson stream, even though it's fun, but I kind of think it's a little absurd that Clemson's ahead of Georgia personally, and I personally wouldn't put them ahead of Notre Dame or Oregon either. Alabama and LSU in the top 10, Miami at 10, Arizona State at 11, a little iffy on that one. Illinois, one spot ahead of South Carolina at number 12. In case you can't see it, I'm holding the middle finger up right now, but you can't see it. Michigan at 14, a little high for me. This is where I really just don't get this right now, man. This is where I really don't understand. Florida at 15. Now listen. I agree that DJ Lagway is a good quarterback. I really do. And the fact is, if Florida wants to make something of their season this year, they're going to need that guy. Without DJ Lagway, I just don't see Florida getting anywhere near the topic of a college football playoff. I just don't. Number 15? That just seems like a little high for me. That seems way too high for me. I mean, I just don't. And it's over one player too. That just doesn't sit right with me, y'all. I mean, again, Florida fans are gonna argue, say, "Well, yeah, keep up the disrespect." It's not that I'm saying Florida can't do something good this year, bro. It's raining hard outside. Holy shit! But it's not that I'm saying Florida can't do anything good this year. It's just it seems like all of this hype is around one player, and yeah, technically you can kind of say the same about South Carolina. I don't really think so because Carolina's got weapons all around Lenora Sellers, which adds on to the hype. Florida, to me, they have a strong lines, but they have a good quarterback. But it's just their schedule is really rough, man. I just don't know about that. SMU at 16, Kansas State at 17. My other boys, Oklahoma at 18. Love to see it. Personally, I think that's a little high, but I don't care. Texas A&M at 19. I'll be honest. Texas A&M is a team I think could. It feels like every year we kind of look at Texas A&M and think they can win double-digit games, and then they just go 8-4. I can kind of see it being like that again this year. Indiana at 20, Ole Miss at 21, Iowa State at 22, Texas Tech at 23. I think Texas Tech should be maybe a little bit higher. Tennessee at 24. I'll be honest. I don't think Tennessee is just gonna massively fall off like everyone thinks they are, but it is true that Tennessee, I think, is a little bit less better now without Nico, even though I completely applaud Tennessee for how they handled the Nico situation, and I definitely think it was the right move, but Tennessee, I'm okay with Tennessee being where they are. I'm just saying Tennessee, I don't think is going to be the team that they were the last couple of years. But I do think this is kind of where they're at. Boise State at 25. When it comes to South Carolina, they're pretty much where I thought they'd be, honestly. I picked South Carolina to be anywhere between 12 and 16, and they ended up at 13, which is ironically what they were ranked in the coaches poll. But I'll be honest with you, I'm really excited about South Carolina and the chance that this team has this year to do something special. I think we're in a good spot. If you could start the season strong, I think you're in a good spot. We could see this program in the top 10 for the first time in a decade. Really think about that, guys. For the first time in a decade, I really think we could see this team in the top 10. Some bright days for South Carolina football for sure. And again, I'm excited because I haven't seen this for my football team in a very long time. I really am. So I'm just rambling out of my heart as a South Carolina fan. It's just, I remember how dead this program felt 5 years ago, and now to see this, Beamer's done a great job. He really has, and I think he'll continue to do a great job. And if you can start the season strong, if you can get some big wins, especially late in the year, who knows? Carolina could be very much in the talk yet again for a college football playoff berth. Hopefully that happens. I think this team deserves it. But when you look at South Carolina too, we lost quite a bit on the defensive line, of course, and that definitely does mean something, even though I think they can still be a good defense because you still have Dylan Stewart, of course, but you need help around him. And I think that's where Bryant Thomas Jr. comes in. We have other defensive players like Vakari Swain, Jalen Kilgore, even Gerald Kilgore. We have players like Brandon Sissy who comes in. We have Judge Collier. I mean, there's plenty more also I'm mentioning. This defense still has a lot of talent. My questions for South Carolina really is just, how good is the running game? Because I'm still unsure about Rasul Fajan. That's definitely a question mark. If Rasul Fajan doesn't get cleared eligible, South Carolina's running backs, how good are they going to be? Because Lenoris is definitely going to need help. Offensive line, you can't think it get any worse. I've been telling myself that for 5 years now, but you can't think that it just can't get worse. It can't. I refuse to believe it. I really think the offensive line will improve. It just can't get worse, man. It can't. It can't get worse. And of course, you have a Heisman contender in Lenora Sellers at quarterback. So I do think this team is where they belong. Again, maybe you argue they belong maybe near where SMU for Oklahoma is ranked at. And I won't disagree with you if you say that. I will say this, though. I do think this team has the weapons to do something special. When we look at tight end, especially Michael Smith, who I'm extremely high on, Nick Harbor, gave up track to focus on football. He's been locked in. And from all the intel we're hearing about practice and stuff, dude's looking pretty good. And we're even hearing intel about Lenora Sellers improving as a passer. We're hearing promising developments within South Carolina football. Now, of course, it's got to translate on the field, but we're hearing some very promising things, and it's just exciting to see this program be in a place like this. Number 13 in the country. It's been a very long time since we've seen that for South Carolina football, and hopefully they maintain that. Hopefully they do maintain that, and I think Carolina is actually, out of the last 4 times, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I heard something this morning when I was listening to 107.5 The Game. Apparently, the last couple of times South Carolina began the preseason ranked, they've finished the preseason ranked. So, I'm very excited about that. Very excited about South Carolina football this year. The hype, the feeling, and the stage of this program, it just hasn't been in such a very long time. And I'm excited for them to get the chance to really do something special. And I truly hope they do. I truly hope they do, because this team definitely has what it takes. They have what it takes. What I mean by that is just to have a special season. I'm not talking about winning a national championship or anything like that, but I definitely feel good about this team being able to take a big step under Shane Beamer. Could they make the playoffs? Could they break through that 10-win gap? Who knows? Who knows? It's a tough schedule for sure, but I definitely think South Carolina, even despite the defensive losses, South Carolina's got enough leaders on that. Here's what I'll say. The defense is full of players that have been watching and waiting their turn to take over. And I think we can develop some strong leaders in that defense this year. And that will definitely be crucial. But yeah, good times for South Carolina football, man. Good times for South Carolina football. And hopefully this year they prove everyone right. They prove all the hype right. Hopefully they do. But anyways, what do you guys think? Let's look at the comments real quick. How you doing, Sentient? I'm happy to see our ranking. Me too, man. It's been a long time since we've gotten this much love here in Carolina. How do you guys feel about this, by the way? I'm actually streaming from OBS, and I actually have a streaming a template. I actually have a template. How about that? How about that? How about that? So we got a new look for our live shows now. Pretty much what our videos are going to look like for this year. I'll have the helmets side by side with a score under it like I did last year. Now I got to figure out how to do a scroll. That's the one thing I got to figure out how to do. But once I do that, I think we're golden. But Oklahoma too. I want to talk about Oklahoma. They're my second favorite team. Number 18 for the Sooners. Hey, look. After last year, after the crap show that was last year, and even just how it ended, last year was so horrendous, man, for Oklahoma football. And that's not something Sooner fans are used to seeing either. 2 losing seasons in the last 3 years, that doesn't cut it in Oklahoma. It doesn't cut it in Oklahoma. You have to respond this year. You have to. And I think Oklahoma got the right pieces in the building to respond. You got John Mateer. He's being hyped up, and for good reason. He lit it up in Wazoo, and I think he's going to light it up too, because this Oklahoma offense has some talent, man. This Oklahoma offense has some talent. Deion Burks is coming back. Jaden Ott at running back, who I think is going to have a big year. And of course, when you have a runner and a passer like John Mateer, I think Oklahoma can light it up this year. The offensive line's got to be better, though. That's for darn sure. Because one of the things is, look, we can say whatever we want about Jackson Arnold and Michael Hawkins Jr. They weren't great, but the offense didn't do them much favors. I don't think I've ever seen as much drop balls at Oklahoma in my lifetime. I don't think I've seen such horrible offensive line play at Oklahoma in my lifetime. 2022 was a bad year, but last year was the worst Oklahoma offense I think I'll ever see in my lifetime. Look, I say this because I grew up watching Oklahoma have quarterbacks like, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, even Caleb Williams for a little bit of time, Spencer Rattler too, even though he didn't pan out Oklahoma the way we kind of hoped. He had a strong 2020 season, but 21, Oklahoma's offense, Caleb worked better for that system than Rattler did, even though I think Rattler was done kind of dirty. But so I've been used to seeing strong Oklahoma offenses, so last year was new to me. I don't think Oklahoma's offense is going to return to the golden ages that they were 5 years ago, but I will say I do think this Oklahoma offense will be much improved. I do think Oklahoma will be much improved, and I'm looking forward to seeing what both of my teams can do this year, because I definitely think they can both be very good. Oh, and by the way, Oklahoma, defensively, Brent Venables is calling the shots on defense, which is awesome. You do lose Stutzman. However, we still got some ballers on that defense, man. Oklahoma's defense is still stacked, so If Oklahoma can have a strong defense with a better offense, I feel really good about the chances they have this year. But is what it is. Is what it is. Gamecocks come in 13. Oklahoma comes in 18. And yeah, really, that's all there is to it. I'm looking forward to this season. It's nice to see love for South Carolina, number 13 again. I feel like I've been repeating this, but true, I really want to emphasize we haven't been in this position in a long time, and that's both an exciting and scary thing for Gamecock fans. Because now here's the thing: you used to pull off all the upsets. Now you're in pretty much the upset category. You used to keep teams out of the playoffs. Now teams might be able to keep you out of the playoffs if you're not careful, especially in the first 5 games. Because I don't think Virginia Tech's a walkover win. Going to Mizzou and Como, definitely not easy at all. That's one we could very well lose. So, gotta keep your guard up. It's exciting to see South Carolina in this position, and I know the history. I know the Gamecock PTSD. If there's anything I can say to really talk any of you out of it, I feel like it's hard. It's just something you can't get over, even though you want to. Because we've seen multiple times this team with hype coming into an offseason, they disappoint. However, it hasn't been quite like this. 2018 season was pretty hype, coming into 2018 at least. Because I really thought Carolina could make a push towards Atlanta, and some other people did too. We saw how that turned out. But I don't think it was quite like this. I don't think it was. This is at a level the program hasn't been at since the Spurrier days, and I really hope that South Carolina can execute. Because it's a new time for South Carolina. It's a new era, and I think we should all embrace it. Even though, the past eras, they're ingrained into our heads, I understand it. And the thing is, week 1 against Virginia Tech, South Carolina's got to start strong. You got to start strong. Because you haven't done it. Now, this goes beyond Shane Beamer, to be fair. But South Carolina does have a history of just not showing up for week 1 games. We can go all the way back to 26. We can go all the way back to 2016. Honestly, further. To be fair, we can go back further. In 2014, very hype. You come out and you get absolutely blasted by Kenny Stills and Texas A&M. I never want to think about that game again. I never want to think about that game again. And I'm sorry to all the Gamecock fans that I brought it up. I'm sorry, truly. Some fun memories, for sure. 2016 against Vandy. You were down 10-0 at that time, and it was Elliott Fry's 55-yard field goal that pretty much got you out of Nashville alive. I mean, that could have ended multiple bad ways for South Carolina, and thankfully it didn't end badly. Now, 2017 and 18, 2017, you beat NC State. That awesome Debo Williams opening kick return. Not Debo Williams, excuse me, Debo Samuel kick return. Absolutely epic. 2018, you handle business against Coastal Carolina. 2019, you come out against a UNC team that was improved, but they were coming off of a 2-win season. And you lose that game. And that pretty much set the tone for a horrific season. And in 2020, you got close, but you found a way to screw yourself against Tennessee with that punt and everything. 2021 EIU, now you dominated that game 46-0. I mean, really, who cares? Georgia State. This is one where you needed your special teams really to lift you past. Take away the 2 blocked field goals, and that very well could have been a touchdown game. Really could have. And then 2023, again, bad. Just lost to North Carolina by double digits. Tone setter for an awful season. And then last year, of course, I went to this one. Old Dominion. Barely beating Old Dominion. So, Carolina's got to come out and start strong. You've got to handle business because You should beat Virginia Tech. Even though Virginia Tech, I think, can be tough, they're kind of a wild card to me. I just don't know what to expect out of them. But they can be tough. They're a team that can punch you in the mouth if you're not prepared for them. That's the thing that kind of scares me about Virginia Tech. Look, they lost a lot offensively. Their defense is an unknown, though I think they could be strong. An unknown offense is both a scary thing, but also a thing that makes me think, okay, so they really ain't got nothing. All right, all right, all right. But and an assuring thing at the same time. But either way, hey, look, 20 days away from Gamecock football, and the Gamecocks are number 13. It's hype. It's hype. 20 more days until we kick off the season against the Hokey Pokeys in Atlanta. Um, that's going to be a great game. That's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it. Gamecocks number 13. Let us know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. But again, love to see it. Go Gamecocks. This program, just the all-time excitement around this program. And to think that I think we're even still heading for better days. It's great to be a Gamecock. Great to be a Gamecock. Y'all have a great day. Your boy, SECFT, checking out. By the way, over the next couple days, SEC football record projections coming out. So keep an eye out for that. Y'all have a great day. Let me see if I can try to figure this out real quick. Record projections checking out. By the way, over the next couple days, SEC football record projections coming. Not sure why it's still doing this.